You are watching ILFL Soccer Nights.
Sponsored by Mashuri এবং Hawk and Eagle.
It's the final session of your soccer night here on NTV, and it's all about the Shonali Otif Veterans Cup. This is sponsored by Hawk and Eagle, and this is where we get to hear from our stats man Nanu about all things veterans. It was the whole cup thing, the whole seeds, the pots, the whole draws. Tell us all about it, Nanu.
It was a really good night. No rain, no wind, temperatures just hovering above zero, and it was just a perfect weather for football. Even the Chana guy was making a lot of business, so yeah, that says it all, that everybody turned up on time and all the games just went ahead as scheduled. I'll just talk about the groups. In Group A, and I'm sure Rashid here can't wait for me to mention that Beaumont beat Abahoni by 1 goal, and they also beat Western Vets. Yeah, definitely, yeah. And they're at the top of the group. For that, because Abahoni lost to Beaumont, they're going to face a much tougher team in the quarterfinals. Group B was by far the most difficult group to be playing in. You had loads of strong teams in there. Bromley lost to Saya by 1-0. It was no surprise for me personally that Bromley lost, because they're a very defensive team and they weren't attacking, and Saya scored in the last second. That was their mistake. Bromley are good at defending, but they need to go and attack, and they should do that a lot more. In Group C, we had Shadwell, Luton and BYM. I mean, BYM had no chance at all. Shadwell and Luton were just too good. They really played well. I was surprised that Luton beat Shadwell. This was, I thought Shadwell was a much better team, but when I watched Luton play, it seems like they've got 1 or 2 really outstanding players that make all the difference, and that's what it took basically.
Well, that's what happens when you just score goals. You have to score goals to win.
I think Shadwell is in a way a bit like Bromley, but not as bad as Bromley. I mean, Bromley is such a defensive team that they're not even scoring any goals, whereas Shadwell, they're not conceding many goals, but they're attacking on the other hand.
They have the ability to score.
That's right. In Group D, we had Benados and some of our teams that are in there, St. Catherine's and London Tigers. Benados played a really aggressive footballing. Their season is over in the league, so this is something for them to salvage, and they luckily got through to this round, and if they can salvage something at the end of this season, then that's really good for them.
And the Tigers are looking just like the Tigers
are looking as formidable as ever. Can't comment on them because they're just simply too good. They're so consistent that there's nothing to talk about. They're just too good.
Well, I'll tell you what, we'll comment on their quarter-final game against Shadwell. I mean, let me not go over there. Let me come over here, Rash. I mean, I'm not going to ask you for a prediction, but is it the pick of the 4 games in quarters?
The Shadwell versus Tigers?
Yeah.
For me, I think Tigers will be too good on the day. Shadwell, I know they had close encounters in previous matches. The thing with this format is it's only 30 minutes, so it's not. It's a short period of time, so that I think will play advantage to Shadwell. They can play more defensive and try and attack when they get sniff or a little chance, and then try and be more defensive. That's the only way of controlling Tigers. Because Tigers, they tend to come back in the second half. So because there's a restricted time, I think Shadwell may have a chance, but it's mouth-watering. Every game's tough. I think if you look at the draws, all the expected teams are in the quarterfinal. 50 minutes each way, so I think on the day, again, it depends on who turns up, because people underestimate Benados at Luton. They're in the quarterfinal, and Luton are an underestimated team. They are a good side. In the league, they had a few bad results, but you can't, they are a good side. They have good players.
Luton were my shout. You guys were my shout at the beginning of the season. It could be your cup. Who are the expected teams to go through then, Cameras?
Well, I mean, you expect the likes of Tigers and Tower Hamlets to do well. I think Abahani, Shadwell and even Beaumont have a chance. You see, cup games are different to league games.
Absolutely.
See, Abahani are doing very well in the league, but they're not a cup team. They haven't got the experience that the likes of Shadwell and Beaumont have. Luton, again, are a very experienced team. They've got some very established players in the team, and you can tell by the way they play, they've played a lot of 11-side football. They're very composed on the ball, so they could cause an upset. So, I mean, the usual suspects of Tower Hamlets and Tigers will be there, but I wouldn't rule out also, you know, Beaumont's got a very probably the easiest way forward compared to all the other teams. So I think on that side of the table, Beaumont should go all the way, really.
So, 2 for the final, Nanu. Who's your finalists?
Tower Hamlets, Tigers,
He can't be.
definitely.
You can't. They're
Can't
going
be.
to
They're
beat
gonna
each
make
other
the
in
semis.
semi-final.
Can't be.
Yeah.
So who's for the final? Tigers?
If not Tigers, then it's got to be Abahani.
It can't be.
It can't
He
be.
has to be from the
They're
other
in the
group.
same.
Okay, I would say the
Maybe-
title is going to be taken by Tower Hamlets. That's what I was going to say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
To be honest,
And for you, Rush?
I
Who's
could
making
see,
the final?
as Cameron said, the route and the draw has been very favourable to Beaumont in terms of the teams we could have had. Although they're not the strongest side, but you still have to beat them on the day. But I would prefer the route and the draw we had. So Beaumont should go into the final, and I think again, like Nano, I think Tower Hamlets are slightly better than London Tigers, I would say, because technically the Brazilian, Spanish players they have might just make the difference.
Tower Hamlets. And for you?
I would be slaughtered if I don't say Shadwell, so Shadwell to win.
Shadwell to win.
First they have to beat Tigers, and then
Yes.
if Tower Hamlets win, they have to beat Tower Hamlets, which I can't see to be happening. To be
It's
honest.
I mean that side of the table is very, very tough, and it's a cup game. I mean, although Tower Hamlets and Tigers, even I would say are the two strongest there on the day.
It is a cup game. And speaking as the armchair supporter, because I've seen none of it live, I'll say Luton Bury Park will beat Barnardo's, and then they'll beat Beaumont in the semi-finals. I think they will. I think Luton are good enough, and in a one-off game, as we say, I think Luton will. They're not coming down just to make up the numbers. I think they'll win the semi-final, and I think they'll probably meet London Tigers in the final. I've seen London Tigers. I haven't seen them this season, but what you see is what you get of London Tigers, and they're not going to give it up. But I look forward to it. I look forward to it, and I'm free.
It is very exciting. I think
might be down there.
on the night, I think it's very exciting. It was very exciting last Thursday, and this coming Thursday, everyone's already talking about it, looking forward to it. Just can't wait till Thursday now.
We can't wait till Thursday, and if you're about on Thursday evening, it is the quarter-final stage. There's going to be a lot of blood and guts spilled on that pitch, I think, on Thursday. So if you're there, get yourself down there. For those of you that are in the Vets League, here's the table for you. This is what I'm trying to say to you. Here's the table for you. Because once the cup's gone, you're going to come back and you're going to have to finish off the Vets League. And there it is in all its glory. All the usual suspects that should be there in the quarterfinals are there. So as you can see, from 1 down to 6, they're all there in the quarterfinals. And then the 2 that join them are Barnardo's and Sire. And Bromley missed out. Did Bromley just play really badly in the tournament?
I think what Nan said before, Bromley are very defensive. They tend to just hold back and hope for the best.
Is it a counter-attacking game then, this semi-side?
Actually, no, it's not. It's not. You can actually go forward. Likes of Tigers, the way they played at Hamlets, they don't sit back and wait for last minute. They go forward. Similar with Abahani, they don't tend to go forward that much, and Bromley never go forward, which I don't understand. They have 6-man defence, and hopefully if they get a little chance on the break, if at the last minute they'll go, if not they sit back. So I think that's their downfall.
Well, if you don't concede, you can't lose, can you? That's one cup competition that's taken place this week. The other, again, is happening this weekend. It's the League Cup sponsored by Tower Hamlets Homes, and we have 8 teams looking to progress to the semi-finals. So we'll go through them one by one and have a quick comment. We've got Brick Lane up against Leytonstone. Brick Lane were last year's finalists. Am I right in saying that?
Not for this cup. They were finalists.
Oh, the Challenge Cup.
In
In
the Champions.
right.
the
So
Challenge Cup.
I knew they made one. So as a cup team, any competition for Leytonstone?
I think it's a good game for Leytonstone to play against a Premiership side to see. Hopefully, if they're looking for promotion next season, is this the kind of level, or can they maintain, or can they compete against the Premiership? So for them, I think it'll be an interesting match. For Brick Lane, obviously, the league itself is not possible. The cup will be a nice distraction. It's something to play for. So I think it's a really interesting game between the two teams.
Okay, Bromley versus Beaumont. How many times have we called that fixture over the years in the cup? So doesn't matter what division they're in, it's still a game.
It's a good game, and if Beaumont can put the right team out, and if is a big if, they'll cause an upset. But I think Bromley are too far off the mark in the league, so they'll probably put out their best team and really go for it. This game.
Both teams need it to make a stamp on the season, don't they? Tigers v Ireland, is that foregone conclusion, do we think?
Unfortunately, yes. I can't see Ireland. The way they've been playing recently, not the best of form. Tigers top of the league. They've got a lot of new players and banging in goals. So it'll be very. But saying that, when they played the league, it was a very close encounter between the two teams, a 4-4 draw. So unless they use that as a momentum, and on the day Ireland somehow try and get a result, but as I said, Cup, hopefully there's an upset there.
Monsieur, I'll ask you about the last game, St Catherine's v Newark. There's a first division team up against the Prem. It's certainly a game to keep the first division on the map, isn't it, in the Cup?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, St Catherine's can kind of see themselves as, them and Leytonstone as the representatives of the first division. And just like last time when I was talking about how these first division teams, they've got the chance to, even if they're not going to win the league, they've got that second chance, they've got that second hope, go for the Cup. And I mean, St Catherine's is a good squad. I'm not going to take that away from them. And, you know, sometimes the luck of the draw works in your favour. You beat Newark, you get another team in the semi-final, you beat them, you get to the final, and, you know, then that's the beauty of the Cup, isn't it? You could be any team, you could be an underdog and you win it. But just before that, like, I was just going to say to Rash, like, I hope London Tigers beat Ireland.
Oh, is
only because, like,
personal there, then, is it?
It's I mean,
it's
Ireland.
Personal. Go on, you can share it with, you know, a few 100,000 people. Go for it.
Well, I mean, Ireland beat us
in the Cup,
and in the Cup, and
you still holding on to that?
I'm still holding on to that grudge. So I mean, I hope London Tigers beat them, and I mean, I do really hope St Catherine's can do really well in this Cup. I'll be rooting for them as well.
I think the problem with St Catherine's is going to be they don't have a prolific striker. Last year before, they had Kema, who was banging in goals. As I was watching yesterday, the problem they have is up front. Martin desperately needs a striker. With Newark, I think Newark's a very experienced side. A lot of ex-players are back. I think it'll be a bit too tall order for them.
And Newark are the kind of team, they just don't stop going. Yeah, they'll just keep on, and they will.
The previous round, they actually beat a very convincing Hamlet, so
yeah,
they're back on track.
I think Leytonstone have a good chance of upsetting Brick Lane, really.
Yeah.
They're a very efficient team, and they're even more up for it when they have a big game. So this game definitely is big for them.
Leytonstone's a bit funny at times. I mean, like, when we played them, it's not the same team that I've been hearing about Leytonstone. I mean, Baisa was talking about it here, and I'm thinking, like, which Leytonstone comes to their games? Like, have they got their main 11? Have they got their main 15? Who's attending these matches? But I mean, like you said, just how they're in the Premier Division and they're beating everyone else. Yeah, they might just upset Brick Lane.
Let's see what's happening. Guys, we have to stop it there. It's the League Cup, sponsored by Tower Hamlets Home, is taking place this Sunday. And I think whoever wins that, good luck to you, because the semi-finals looks like a mouth-watering prospect. My thanks to everyone on the panel, to Nanu, to cameras. Monsieur, well done, sir, for your input again this evening. Rash, as always. Thanks to you for watching. Thanks to all the boys behind the screen there who are bringing the show to you. That is it for this weekend. Wherever you are, whatever you do, be safe, enjoy your football this weekend, and we'll see you here again next Monday for Soccer Night on NTV. But for now, it's good night. Good night.